with Dick Morris, best-selling author, renowned political analyst, and he's got his own website at dickmorris.com. That's pretty easy. Well, Dick, was it significant? That's question number one.
Hugely significant, enormously significant, because, first of all, obviously the New Jersey, a solid blue state electing a Republican governor, was enormous. But I found the Virginia result more significant in its implications, because Virginia really is a swing state. Went for Obama last year. But you have 83 Democratic congressmen who come from states that McCain carried. So, you know, Virginia, Obama carried, but it's a swing state. But then you have 83 congressmen who are Democrats who comes from red states. And the ease with which a credible, serious Democratic candidate was defeated in a swing state like Virginia really tells those marginal Democrats from those districts that they better watch their step on the health care proposal and on taxes and on the entire Obama program. It has to absolutely send chills through those marginal members' spines.
Well, as it happens,
yep.
And let me just say, as it happens, it's exactly what I believe. 59-41. I cannot even conceive of a larger demolition in an election in Virginia.
I agree completely. I think that it's you know, and these two guys ran against each other 4 years ago, and for Attorney General, and McDonnell won by a couple of hundred votes. So, you know, this is a mainstream, credible Democrat deeds against McDonnell.
Huh.
And it says to all of these Democratic congressmen that come from places like and senators that come from places like North Dakota or South Dakota or Nebraska, states that are solidly Republican states, that they're going to lose their seats if they go with Obama. And there had been a feeling in Washington that you could wrap yourself in the Obama cloak and be okay, and that you could cast votes your constituents don't like and you'd still be all right. The Virginia experience shows that that's not only not so, it's not even remotely so. And I think that that's going to send a chilling message to these Democrats.
I would think, though, that
really
between the two states, Dick, I would think that New Jersey would send that message because Corzine wrapped himself in Obama, but that was not the case in Virginia.
Yeah. Well, Corzine sends a different message. His is that no matter how much money you spend, you can't overcome the antipathy to the Obama administration. Here, this guy spent $30 million getting reelected. The Republican Christie spent about $10.5. And sometimes, and if you're a Democrat from a swing state, your leadership tells you two things. First of all, don't worry about getting reelected. Obama will be there for you. And secondly, don't worry about getting reelected. We'll get you lots of money. And Corzine disproves the potence of one, and Deeds' defeat disproves the potence of the other.
All right, let's go then to the health care bill or bills. Right now, if you had to bet the Morris family fortune, what would you say the vote would be?
Well, this is a tough day to ask because everything just changed yesterday, and we need to see how it percolates through. We clearly need to increase the percentage of people that oppose Obamacare. Right now it's about 55% with 42 support. Those kind of numbers, the thing has a chance to pass, a good chance. But I believe that these results themselves will stimulate people turning away from Obama. I think his poll numbers tonight are going to be worse than they were 2 nights ago by a good margin. Because opposition to him, in a sense, has now been ratified by 2 elections. And secondly, I think that I know that on my website, dickmorris.com, we're launching a huge effort to reach the under 30 voters who are perhaps the swing vote on this issue. The elderly are already dead set against the health care bill. But the young people are for it, but they don't understand what it says. So, you know, we have a guy, an older guy in a suit, and he says, "I'm Obamacare." And then a young woman says, "And I'm Katie." And then Katie says, "What's this about taxing me $1,000 if I don't have health insurance?" And he says, "That's a fine, little lady, not a tax." And 12% of my paycheck just for health insurance? That's a prerequisite for eligibility, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go to dickmorris.com, you can help us run that ad in other states. But this is part of a broad offensive that's now being launched against health care reform, and I think we have a very good chance of defeating it. But this is a work in progress right now. If you'd asked me on Sunday, I would have said it's more likely to pass than to fail. But at this point, I think the results yesterday represent enormous progress, and it's a game changer. We just need to see where it falls out.
When you say more likely to pass than fail, you mean the House or you mean the House and the Senate?
On Sunday, I would have meant both.
Really?
Now,
on Sunday, you would have meant the Senate as well, this bill as written?
No, there'll be some changes, and there might also be a deletion of the public option, but that's not my real concern with the bill. My real concern is the cuts in Medicare and the inevitability of rationing, because you can't treat 40 million new people without any extra doctors, and public option has no real effect on that. But I do believe that now all bets are off. I think there's a significant chance that this will permanently change the construct of the Congress on this and on other issues too. It might be that the elections yesterday mark the high water mark of the Obama presidency.
Oh, boy. Well, they are changing it, though. They're actually adding new things into the bill. Are you aware of that? I mean, I'm just seeing this now on the news. House Democrats, let's see, clear the way, and they're apparently adding new stuff. Are you aware of this? They're changing the bill?
Today, no, but not today. But tell me about it.
Well, for example, I'm reading from, I think it's an AP piece. Yeah, an AP piece. The bill would set up health insurance exchanges through which self-employed people and small businesses could buy coverage. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, that's always been in there.
Oh, that is? Okay.
That's the core of it, yeah. What they basically are doing is setting up places where you can buy insurance on a competitive basis, which is good. And then they're telling people that are uninsured that you can buy health insurance and we'll subsidize you. We'll make it affordable. But then when you read the small print, affordable means if you make $40,000 a year combined income with your wife and your husband for family income, you've got to pay 8% of your income for health insurance before any subsidy kicks in. If your combined income is $60,000, you have to pay $8,000, 12% before any subsidy kicks in. And if you don't buy the health insurance, you've got to pay a fine of $1,500. So I think when people begin to understand those kinds of financial consequences, they'll see that this is not a good bargain even for the young people who are uninsured.
You said that 50, what were the numbers you gave, 55, 42?
42, 55.
Yes, okay.
Support,
you said that that's not enough to undo it.
Right. It's got to be on the order of 35 to 60.
Okay.
And,
do you think that that's possible? Because you do?
Yes, I think it may even be close to the number right now. I really believe that the election results will have a strong secondary impact throughout the country and really erode Obama's support. His job approval is now at 46, which is A, the lowest it's ever been, but B, pretty much what it has been for the last 30 or 40 days. And I think you may see in the polling that comes out tomorrow, they poll at night, so the poll results from tonight, you may well see that dropping significantly.
Well, that I do believe, but there seems to me that there is an X% of Americans that will support a Democratic liberal policy on health care no matter what, and I always assume that we're talking at least 30%. Yeah,
you probably are, 25 to 30. But then, of course, you also have the factor of turnout. Young people in New Jersey voted half as frequently as they did during the presidential election, whereas overall turnout in New Jersey was pretty parallel. You've had a huge decrease in the votes of under 30s and of minorities, and a huge increase in the turnout of conservatives. And I think particularly in an off-year election, where the turnout usually drops by about 20% off in presidential election, that will become very significant. And I think that the Democratic congressmen have to take that into account.